Why am I here? What is my purpose? Why does anything matter if everything will eventually fade? These questions have echoed through the minds of countless individuals throughout history. Some wrestle with them in solitude, while others turn to philosophy, science, or religion in search of answers. But what if the answer is something else entirely? Something hidden within the very fabric of existence itself? One of the greatest minds to have ever grappled with this existential dilemma was Leo Tolstoy. At the height of his success, with wealth, fame, and a loving family, he found himself staring into the abyss of meaninglessness. It wasn't for lack of accomplishment. He had written some of the greatest novels of all time, shaped the literary world, and achieved all that one could wish for. And yet, as he reached his 50s, an overwhelming sense of despair took hold of him. Tolstoy's journey was not unique. His internal struggle mirrored the crisis that countless others have faced. The more he searched for meaning, the more it seemed to slip through his fingers. He read widely, turning to philosophy and science, only to find their answers unsatisfying. If existence was merely a fleeting accident, what was the point of living at all? This crisis led him to a breaking point. And yet, rather than surrendering to despair, Tolstoy embarked on a journey, a relentless pursuit of something greater than himself. He studied the lives of people around him, from the peasants working the land to the wealthy elite who seemed just as lost as he was. What he discovered changed his life forever. Tolstoy found that, paradoxically, it was not intellectualism or wealth that gave life meaning, but something far simpler: faith. The peasants, despite their hardships, lived with a sense of purpose, rooted not in logic or material success, but in an unwavering belief in something beyond themselves. This realization shook him to his core. He came to understand that meaning was not something to be found in abstract reasoning, but in the way one chooses to live. His transformation was profound. He renounced his former ways, embraced a life of humility, and devoted himself to helping others. His search for meaning had led him not to definitive answers, but to a new way of being. He no longer sought to conquer life with knowledge, but to live it with intention and devotion. The story of Tolstoy is not just a historical account, but a reflection of the fundamental human struggle. We are all faced with the same questions, the same doubts, and the same search for meaning. The way we respond to them shapes our lives in ways we may not fully comprehend. Some turn to nihilism, embracing the idea that life is inherently meaningless. Others seek solace in pleasure, distracting themselves from the abyss. But perhaps, like Tolstoy, the answer lies not in escape, but in surrender, to the act of living, to the acceptance of the unknown, and to the belief that meaning is not something we find, but something we create. Yet this journey of meaning is never linear. It is filled with contradictions, moments of clarity, and stretches of darkness. Some days, we may feel as though we have grasped the essence of our purpose, only for it to slip through our fingers the next. This is the nature of existence, a continuous oscillation between certainty and doubt, between discovery and loss. Perhaps that is what makes the search for meaning so compelling. If it were a puzzle to be solved, a simple equation to be balanced, it would cease to be a journey at all. The beauty of the human experience lies in its incompleteness, its constant unfolding. Every individual who has walked this earth has left behind a unique imprint, a story woven into the larger tapestry of existence. And yet, no two stories are the same. The quest for meaning is not about arriving at a universal truth, but about carving out a personal truth, one that resonates within the depths of our own being. Consider for a moment the vastness of the cosmos. Stars are born, burn with brilliance, and eventually fade into darkness. Galaxies collide, planets form, life emerges and dissipates. Against this cosmic backdrop, Our individual lives may seem insignificant, and yet within this insignificance lies something profound: the ability to feel, to think, to create. The fact that we can even contemplate the meaning of our existence is in itself extraordinary. The search for meaning, then, is not about escaping the void, but embracing it. It is about acknowledging the impermanence of all things, while still finding beauty in the transient moments that define our lives. It is in the laughter shared with a friend, the quiet contemplation of a sunset, the act of creating something that did not exist before. It is in love, in art, in the pursuit of knowledge, in the willingness to embrace the unknown. So, as you reflect on your own existence, ask yourself, are you searching for meaning in the right places? Are you looking outward when the answer might be within? Perhaps the true meaning of life is not to find the answer, but to live the question itself. And in doing so, perhaps we come closer to understanding that the meaning of life is not a destination, but the journey itself.